Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we are going to do a mail call unboxing, this time of some store exclusives that I bought recently. I'm going to talk to you about where I got them from. We're going to open them up and see how good of a job they did packing it. I'm going to show you the books. I'm going to do a quick assessment of the book's condition. Then I'm going to tell you about what I paid for them. In addition, I want to talk a little bit about store exclusives in general, using some examples of store exclusives that I have purchased in the past. Okay, let's go ahead and start digging into these boxes. Now, I'm going to tell you that both of these boxes have the same book in it. I actually placed two different purchase orders. What they did is they had a one per customer limit for the first 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, they allowed people to order a second copy if they wanted to. Now, I got these through a Facebook group that I am part of for Something is Killing the Children. Now, there are Facebook groups for a lot of comic book retailers, lots of people who do store exclusives and things like that. Frankie's Comics is a big one that's out there. But this group is actually a Something is Killing the Children fan group. And the organizer of it is this guy who does business as an entity called ECGCE. And man, he must have his act together because he was able to make arrangements with Boom to get a store exclusive for the group. And they facilitated it with a group member who is the proprietor of Izzy's Comics and Collectibles. So it was a shared exclusive between ECGCE, aka the Something is Killing the Children group on Facebook, and Izzy's Comics and Collectibles. This has turned out to be a really fun and great group to be part of. If you're a fan of Something is Killing the Children, I highly recommend being part of this group and finding it on Facebook and requesting to join. Now, one thing I want to talk about is I'm going to go ahead and show you this at the same time because I want to show you kind of a no-no. First and foremost, this is the book, okay? I'll talk about it more specifically in a second. But I want to just say that the no-no right here is masking tape. Don't use masking tape. Scotch tape is bad enough, but use painter's tape. When you're packing comic books, do not pack comic books with masking tape. Masking tape clings on so strongly, and not only can it damage comic books, it can actually damage the plastic bag that these comic books are in right now. So I'm actually not even going to lift this tape off right now. I'm going to do it carefully later. I'm actually going to cut it out of this box because I don't want to mess with it. In fact, a lot of people in my Something is Killing the Children group have been posting their books that they've received recently. And one guy posted, he's like, hey, that tape, it ripped the bag and then it stuck to my book and now my book is severely damaged. But yes, here it is. That's the first one. And then I'll put that here and then I'm going to do the second one and then I'm going to talk up some details real fast. You gotta be careful with these, man. These Gemini mailers are really, really great. Oh, look, see? The tape on this one actually snapped off. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to show you and end up regretting it. You see that one? How did that tape tear while it was in the box? I don't even want to think about what had to happen in transit to make that tape actually come loose. Also, you know what? You're supposed to... What you should do is you should when you pack in a Gemini box, you should take an extra piece of cardboard and put it on top of the face of this. And then painter's tape that cardboard to the book so that you protect the front cover of the book. The Gemini can protect it, but it also runs the risk of potentially damage it if there's like just the wrong kind of pressure. Basically, overpack rather than underpack. I've sent stuff in Geminis with taped to pieces of cardboard and then bubble wrapped and then put inside the Gemini, then seal up the Gemini, and then even gone further with that. But anyways, I digress. We've got them out, and now we can talk about them specifically. This is Something is Killing the Children, number 14. This is the ECGCE and Izzy Comics and Collectibles shared exclusive. This was offered exclusively to members of the Something is Killing the Children Facebook group, of which I'm a part. Like I said, they offered it for 24 hours, one per person. There were only 500 of these printed. They offered them one per member for the first 24 hours, and there are less than 500 members. And then after 24 hours, they gave you the opportunity to order more if you wanted to. So I went ahead and ordered a second one, which is why they've come into shipment. These have certificates of authenticity, which in this case are little business cards that actually have a foil element to it, which is really, really nice. I received issues number 108 and these are just handwritten numbers on here, 81. So that's kind of fun, 108 and 81. Doing a quick glance at these books, they look great. They look really, really great. Now I can't see what's underneath the tape, and I'm not going to take them out right now to look at the back, but the corners are sharp. I don't see any kind of indentations or anything in the spine. This is really, really great. Now, part of the reason I went ahead and bought two of these, because I want to send these to CGC and have them as part of my 9/8 pre-screen that I'm going to be doing. So I am really hoping that both of these come back on 9/8, because there are a lot of collectors of Something is Killing the Children books that do not have their hands on this. In fact, since they offered this book, at like 150 more people have joined the group, largely in part because they heard about this and they're like, I want to get in on that. Well, so I am very excited to have these books. They look fantastic. A little bit of the details about them. They were $25 each, plus $5 shipping each. They actually said they were going to refund me $5 and ship them together. They didn't do that. I think I'll follow up and see if I can still get that $5 rebate that they promised me. But even if they don't, that's okay. It's just $5. And this was actually a pretty fair price in the first place. So they were $25 each. Now, right now, the cheapest one that's sold on eBay since these came out sold for $75. So that's 3 times what I paid for them. So that's a pretty good return on investment right there. Currently, there are only 3 of these listed on eBay, and the least expensive one is listed for $140. That's $25 to $140. Now, whether or not that person will get that much, we will see. But even at $75, which is a confirmed low end of what these books have sold for, that is actually pretty impressive. And if these both come back a 9/8, that will be really, really great. I imagine I could get probably at least $200 a piece if they come back 9/8 after having put, let's say, about, $60 into each one. Maybe closer to 70, but $70 to $200. I'll take that any day. So I'm probably going to keep one forever, and then I might end up selling one as well. Just so you know, the artist of this book is Christina Kalida. And she is a name that I have mentioned several times before in my Just One Book videos as someone who's making some amazing cover art. And so it's really great that they got such a fantastic artist to do these covers as well. And finally, this is the first cover appearance of this character. I forget her name, but it is her first cover appearance. And I like how Erica looks in this image, and I like how the arms of what appears to be a monster, it's like a POV of the monster, are coming here on the outside of this book. So I'm very excited about these books. I'm very excited that they came. They look to be in great condition, and I'm so very happy with this purchase. It seems to be a pretty big success. Now let me talk a little bit about store exclusives in general, using some examples of ones that I have already. This book right here is The Department of Truth #1. This is the Megan Hutchinson variant that was offered by 616 Comics. I'm going to talk, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about all these books and their value, and then I'm just going to kind of sum up my general thoughts about store exclusives. This one, they were selling for $15. And actually, I bought this as a set with all the ratio incentives for Department of Truth. But these sold out really fast. And for $15, it's no surprise. Currently, the lowest priced one that has sold on eBay sold for $65. That's more than 4 times what this book sold for new. That is a really good return on investment. And currently, there's only, I think, one of these listed on eBay, and that person is asking $119. That's pretty cool. I have not seen any graded copies of this at all. But not only do I think this is a fantastic book, you know how much I like Department of Truth if you've been watching my Just One Book videos, but I think it's amazing art by Megan Hutchinson. Maybe you watched my other video where I showed you my Thor #1, where I have an original art commission done by Megan Hutchinson and her husband, yes, Donnie Cates. But this is a great book. It's a great cover, great art done by an up-and-coming artist and wife of Donnie Cates. So I'm pretty excited to have this book, and I'm excited that its value is holding as well as it is. Next, I'm going to talk about these two guys right here. This is Star Wars Adventures Clone Wars Battle Tales #3. As it's commonly referred, it is the Darth Maul Momoko. This is the set that was offered by Frankie's Comics. Frankie's Comics, I'm going to get into them in a minute. Well, let me talk about them now. Frankie's Comics offers some amazing exclusives. They also have some questionable business practices sometimes. They had a tendency recently and over the past several months to take way too long to ship their books. They also have a tendency to, if people are like, hey, I just wanted to check in and see what's going on with my order, canceled. They'll cancel your order for asking about the status of your order. That is not great. And actually, it's going to take a lot to get me to ever order from Frankie's again. But I was lucky enough to get these books because these books were really coveted. I spent $65 for these books. Now, the lowest price that I have found for what this set has sold on eBay is around $100. There was a little guesswork there because it seems to be a best offer situation. But I'm going to say it's about $100. I'm actually a little bit surprised these books haven't seen a larger increase than from $65 to $100 because these books were so coveted when they came out, along with the Momoko Rey and the Momoko Yoda that came out. People wanted these so bad. So I think they're going to always hold their value. But right now they're just, they're doing fine. I'm not going to complain at all. The lowest listing for the set right now on eBay is somewhere around $110. So that's not too bad. That's definitely profit for me. And that's raw. Now I'm going to send these into CGC, and as 9.8, now we're going to be talking a whole other deal. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The next book I want to point out to you is another set that I got from Frankie's. This is Harley Quinn #75. This is with art by Adam Hughes. Adam Hughes is just a fantastic artist. And I decided that I wanted to go ahead and pick these up. I'm not a big Harley Quinn fan, but I am an Adam Hughes fan, and I just really liked these covers, so I decided to go ahead and pick them up. I picked them up for myself, but I also picked up one for my buddy Kyle over at my comic book shop because he wanted one of the trade dress. It was a trade dress and a limited trade dress. The trade dress went for $15 and the set went for $50. Well, this book, I'm actually happy hasn't lost a ton of value. It is currently holding steady with its value. The lowest amount that it's sold for on eBay is $15 and $50, basically exactly what I paid for it new. But keep in mind, on eBay, you're going to be paying 13% in seller's fees, you know. So you sell this one, you know, you sell the set for $50, you're actually minus, you know, another $7.50. So you're $7.50 in the hole on these books if you sell them for what you paid for them on eBay. So maybe they've lost a little bit of value, but nothing too significant. I don't know if I'm going to send these to CGC yet or not. I haven't quite decided yet. Because they're not really holding their value, I think it probably is best just to keep them raw. But we'll see. I might try to hold on to it and see if I could ever see Adam Hughes at a convention and maybe get him to go ahead and sign one of these in person. The last set that I am going to show you today is this one. And finally, this one is also from Frankie's Comics. This is Thor number 6. This is the Momoko set. Originally, they offered these two books as a set. This one and that one. This was the normal one. This one was the rare one, this Virgin. Then a few weeks later, they offered this sketch variant. And I went ahead and picked up the full set because I'm a big fan of Thor. And Thor 6 was a pretty good issue. And people are nuts about Peach Momoko. So I paid $20 for this guy right here and $50 for the set right here for a total of $70. Well, these books aren't doing very well, much to my surprise. These were the first store exclusives I ever purchased. Now, surprisingly, this guy right here is actually holding his value pretty well. The lowest one I could find on eBay for sale was $22.50. That was the lowest sale that I could find. Now granted, after eBay fees, it's going to be a financial loss if you sell it for that amount on eBay. I also have, I saw a set of these two that I paid $50 for that was sold for $15.50. That is a pretty significant drop in value. It's very surprising because Momoko is so hot that these books that all the Momoko fans wouldn't be so pumped to scoop this up. You know, so it goes. I'll talk a little bit about some of this stuff in general, but sometimes, you know, a lot of store exclusives in general, they lose money. Not very many of them increase in money. And that's why I'll go ahead and get into that now. With store exclusives, I highly recommend that you buy stuff that you like. You buy covers that make you happy. You buy art and books that you just want to have for your personal collection. You don't buy them to make money. Because like I said, in general, store exclusives do not make money. In general, you lose money on them. But they can be some really great art from some really great artists, and they might be worth picking up. Now, who knows? Maybe Thor number 6 at some point will be considered key down the line for something that happened in it, and something happens down the line and like, oh, that first happened in Thor number 6, and maybe the book will heat back up and have value again. But this book has definitely lost value. Store exclusives can be tempting and dangerous because sometimes there are store exclusives that you can buy for $20 or $25 and the value of them becomes ridiculous. I have seen store exclusives that people spent $25 or $30 on that shoot up to $200 raw almost immediately because people are so voracious to have them. And they are limited in number. Typically, they are limited editions. And they sometimes, like the Darth Maul Momoko, sold out in about 2 or 3 minutes. So these books people want really badly. But something I've also noticed that in these groups, even including the Facebook Something is Killing the Children group that I'm part of, people are starting to post their pictures of the store exclusive that I showed you that I unboxed today, and people are starting to get chippy. Some people are... FOMO is real, guys. If you don't know what FOMO is fear of missing out. And if somebody feels like they missed out on an opportunity to have a hot collectible, they get salty. They get really, really bitter. And sometimes they get really mad that you're happy, for example. And I see a lot of people, like when a book sells out in 3 minutes, you have a ton of people talking about how it's not fair and how you're doing, how the seller is doing something wrong, and this is ridiculous, and they should print more, and they should be for collectors and for the reader, or for the comic book enthusiasts. And it's like, no, they're for themselves, and they're for themselves trying to make money, and that's okay. But I have seen the Something is Killing the Children group that I'm part of has been just like a love fest of fans for Something is Killing the Children. But now I'm starting to find that there's a little bit of tension between the haves and the have-nots. People like me who have 2 copies, people are like, oh, you should have only gotten 1. But I'm like, hey man, there were more copies than members of the group at the time. There were going to be leftover copies, and I picked one up when the time came. That was the deal. I could have bought 5 of them. I could have bought 5 more of them, but I bought 1 more for myself, which a lot of people did as well. But there are people that are like, well, I don't have one. And people in the group are like, well, I'll sell you one for $130. Which is a good price based off of what they're going for on eBay. But then you have other people being like, well, that's ridiculous. Why are you selling that for $130? And it's like, well, that's what they're going for right now. That might be a little bit inflated. If I was going to resell it right now to someone in the group, I'd probably sell it for closer to like $90 or $100. But people, the market dictates, supply and demand dictates what the value is, and, if somebody thinks they can get $130 for it, they're going to ask $134 for it. They're going to sit on it until they can get $130 for it. Anyways, my point is that these books, these groups can be great places to hang out and to be part of the comic book community and talk about your favorite comic books or just comic books in general. They can also be salty, toxic messes of environments and just sometimes so frustrating to have to deal with some of the people in them. But ultimately, man, if you love comic books like I love comic books, you want to have access to these things. So you might consider going to Frankie's Facebook group and asking to join, even though there's some questionable things going on there with how they handle their business. You might want to join the Something is Killing the Children group, and the people who run the Something is Killing the Children group, they also run like a Department of Truth group, and they have a We Only Find Them When They're Dead group, and they have a bunch of different groups. And they're doing a really good job. They have giveaways and stuff like that, which I think is really super. So these can be great places to hang out and get access to some really cool books, as well as some really cool information. But just keep in mind, grain of salt, that take the good with the bad. Anyways, that's all I have to say today about this topic. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you have any thoughts to share about store exclusives and Facebook groups and things like that, about groups that you're part of, that you like, anything you have to say about this topic, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and I'm sure other people who are watching this video would love to hear about it as well. If you like this video, Likes are always appreciated. I really, really like likes, and they definitely let people know in the in the YouTube world that people like my content, and so you should check it out, or they should check it out. So please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. If this is the first one of my videos that you are watching, thank you so much for watching my video, especially all the way to this point in it. I invite you to hit the subscribe guy right here. And then, of course, make sure to hit the notification bell so you're informed when I post new videos. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.